Are you filming? Are you with it? Come on. Yeah, we're talking.
Abatement is the removal of hazardous material. There's many hazardous materials in the world, and a lot of them are present in the home. Kind of in between 1930s, 40s up to the 80s is the prime use of asbestos. These products were good products, so you still see it in materials up to 2000s. Right now, they're still dealing with being able to import them again. Being able to be trained in these things give you a lot of knowledge. When you don't have the knowledge, to me, that's what's scary. It's one thing I love about this business is that I have the knowledge of how to protect myself, how to protect my kids, what to look for. Hi, I'm Chris.
I'm Shawna.
We're at ACM's training facility today and looking at some materials that contain asbestos. Transite piping.
Yeah.
What do you know about transite piping?
It's used in pipes for our water, and you can actually have an allowable limit, 7 million per liter of water.
Normally, the most harmful way to get asbestosis is through inhalation in the lungs.
Anthophyllite is a form of asbestos fiber, and it is from the karst mine on 191. It is a mine that has been shut down for many years. This stuff is used for attic insulation, but it does have asbestos fibers in it.
Generally, people know vermiculite insulation in Montana, but they don't know a whole lot about this type of insulation. So it's why you always want to get your materials tested before removal.
So popcorn ceiling is one of those examples of people not knowing that it contains asbestos in it.
2 to 3 times a year, we do cleanings of houses from contractors ripping through popcorn ceiling, not knowing, homeowners doing their own home renovations and then reading online later.
What is the top 3 most dangerous materials that are common in Montana?
Popcorn ceilings are the most common. Mag piping,
And air cell. And all 3 of those are pretty
high
common.
concentration and common in Montana. We're looking at vermiculite. This is a common type of insulation that you find across Montana in attics of houses from about probably the 30s to mid 70s. A lot of this was mined up in Libby, Montana.
Vermiculite you can buy at Home Depot right now today, and it is not asbestos. Vermiculite that came out of Libby had traces of tremolite, which is a form of asbestos. And so that's what made the zonalite vermiculite dangerous for our health.
So right now there's a zonalite attic insulation trust that if you do have it in your house and you pay a certified abatement contractor to remove it, they pay up to 45% of the removal and re-insulation of your house. It's not harmful the way that it sits in your house. It's harmful when you go crawling through it or you start disturbing it or cut holes in your ceiling. So just because you have this in your house doesn't mean that it's harmful. Transite siding. You'll see this on houses all across Montana. 30, 40 years old, still holding up. Great material, but when removed, needs to be removed by an abatement company.
Is that piece there in your hand harmful?
Not the way that it sits. If I drop it and start breaking it or cracking it into small pieces, absolutely.
Or you grind it or put holes in it to hang whatever.
Right, drill through it for piping.
If you
Then it's
drop
harmful.
that and it's snapped in half in here, what happens?
This is not
This is
harmful
fine.
in its form that it's at. Now, if we take a hole saw and I sat here and drilled through with a hole saw,
Then I would be leaving.
and we would be cleaning this room for contamination.
How often do people just work into their homes without knowing what they're doing?
All the time?
All the time.
I'd say daily.
And then they go and throw it in the dumpster. The guys that pick up the dumpster, then they're exposed to it. So one thing that people need to understand is asbestos is a natural mineral right out of the ground, and you can find it anywhere. And so this particular rock was found by our boss, and he found it at the Grand Canyon. He looked down and it was shiny, and he went, ooh, asbestos rock. You can find this stuff anywhere, but that doesn't mean it's hazardous. Unless you ground it up, you wouldn't get the fiber.
So if you think about something that goes into your lungs, and then when you exhale, it's like a fish hook that catches into your lungs.
caught.
And that's what scars your lungs, which causes
Asbestosis. So asbestosis is actually scarring of the lungs, and you get lots of fibers in your lungs, lots of points of asbestosis, and what it does is it causes it to where you can't breathe. I have done abatement with ACM, but I mostly do the training now.
And that's one part of our training program for the contractor super and the inspector is a hands-on. And so we always try to find a project that we're actually able to take these guys out and give them real world experience in setting containments and taking samples. We can set it up here at our training class.
Yeah, but that's not as good at training.
Real world's always better. There's an art to setting containment on how the poly will lay, how it will pull with the negative air, also how it'll come down without tearing walls, and how you're able to clean the containment. Just like if you think about if you go to Dillard's and they wrap your present, or if a 5-year-old wraps your present. Which one's better? Can you imagine how many people cut corners and don't use a 3-stage or a 2-stage decon? Setting up the right containment is a lot of work and time consuming, but worth every penny. It's our kids' future. Being able to give them a safer place to live, being able to help people out to not have health effects down the road and give them knowledge and be able to know what they're dealing with.